On Sunday, December 4th, Burl Ives again tells the exciting news story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on the General Electric Fantasy Hour.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
And today we're covering the very original and probably first special for Rankin and Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Now this is one of the many Rankin Bass specials that have become a Christmas icon. So we just had to cover this one for the holiday season. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notifications of future podcasts and all the Paws videos.
And thank you for taking time out of your busy holiday season to join us. Subscribing, sharing our videos, and so much more. We really appreciate you, our specials.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who may not know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a 1964 stop-motion Christmas animated TV special.
Long one.
That you do know. But this special was based on the 1949 Johnny Mock song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
Published by the Montgomery Ward Company, which no longer exists, but used to be a very huge shopping conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
And Gene Autry's recording hit #1 on the U.S. charts the week of Christmas 1949.
Mm-hmm. And what's amazing about this is that not only has this become synonymous with one of those classic Christmas specials you watch every year, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas and Charlie Brown and many, many others now, but it also has become one of those timeless type stories. Regardless if it's for the holiday season and regardless of what age you are, every age can enjoy Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Not just the song, not just the special, but just the whole story in general.
Another fun fact, since we're saying story. The song itself was based on the poem of the same name, written in 1939 by Marx's brother-in-law, Robert L. May.
Oh, wow.
And we know that the concept was developed in New York City and the animation was done in Japan.
Yes,
right?
It was. And a lot of people did not know that for the longest time.
And it was recorded in England with most of the VA cast from Canada.
Yes, this is the original.
So this was like an international production.
Right. And you can see all of the hard work in every aspect. The stop motion is really well done, even for the time it came out. It felt like it was pretty ahead in terms of being really fluid and detailed. The voice acting was really good. Yeah, there are some few corny lines in there, but the voice acting really comes through, and everyone's very unique personalities. And the story is, when you think about it, it's actually a really short story. It's 30 minutes or less, but it managed to tell a really fun story.
It runs 52 minutes.
52?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it actually had a budget of $500,000 in 1964, which was like probably a few million now.
Right.
And the production company was called Videocraft International.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually an American production company known for a seasonal TV special.
Right.
So that's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Right. And we've known that Rankin and Bass has now done like so many holiday specials. And anyway, when you think about it, they've almost kind of created their own little Christmas cinematic universe. You have Rudolph. You have Santa Claus Coming to Town. You have Frosty, even though that was 2D. You got Jack Frost.
Yes.
You got Nestor. You have so many from the Year Without a Santa Claus with the Misers. They pretty much have their own little Christmas universe within these little specials.
Definitely. Now, the special used to air from 1972 to 2023 on CBS.
Yeah.
But this year, 2024, is airing on NBC.
Yes.
For the first time. Now, with that happening, it makes Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer the longest continuously running Christmas TV special in the U.S.
Wow. It only beat out Peanuts because Apple.
Correct. Thanks a lot, Apple.
Right.
You did for it what CW did to
Supernatural.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. So, those of you who know the story, Rudolph was a misfit that this special clearly keeps pointing out.
Right.
Because he had a nose that glowed red. He was made fun of. His parents was
He left and
embarrassing
called
him.
them names.
Santa even dissed him.
Oh my gosh. You were like, Santa, not you too.
And so, after a lot of different things happened that helped to prove his worth, then here comes Santa Claus back, going, I need help because one of my reindeer is sick, and I remembered your glowing nose, and I saw all you did, so can you help me now?
Like, why?
Rudolph, in his graciousness, said, sure. What he should have said is, no, fat jolly man.
Screw you guys, I'm at the door.
Yes. But he didn't, because he was a sweetheart all along.
Yes.
And a lot of fun that comes from watching this special is the adventures that he has meeting the different people, like the elf and the abominable snowman and so forth.
And Yukon, and yeah.
And when we were watching this, both of us realized this was the inspiration for Elf.
Yes, because there's quite a few scenes in here that Elf recreates, like before Buddy leaves the North Pole, or in when he's gone his little adventure, gone to the forest. You can see a couple scenes in there that they are referencing in the movie. And it also ended up inspiring, of all things, One Piece.
Yes.
With Tony Chopper with his little blue nose. Instead of the reindeer laughing, calling him names, they mocked him and beat the heck out of him. They called him a freak. It's like, oh my gosh, it's more extreme, Rudolph.
Right? Well, we're glad this one didn't go that far.
Right.
It wouldn't have made it long lasting like this.
They did freak out, though.
Yes. And when you look at the stop motion, as Rascal said when we were watching it, it's so detailed. Even down to being able to see fur on the reindeer. It looks like fur.
Yes.
And you were saying that everything was made out of felt?
Yes, it looks like it was felt, and I believe a wire, where they put the wire inside the model so they can move the appendages easier. Now, most of the time when we have the stop motion here, it's usually done in clay or in wood or something where it's more moldable. And here it looks like they already had the little figures made, and then they just moved them around, because you can tell they really didn't have a whole ton of expressions on their faces. Yeah, once or twice where their eyes changed, but they really didn't have a wide range of facial reactions and stuff like they do now. But they moved around constantly as if they were alive and moving and walking and talking, and they had to match the energy with the voice actors. When you hear it, they didn't just have it poorly done. They go, when someone looks like they're yelling or something. It looks like they paid attention to the detail, both for animating and the voices.
Now, the process was known at that time as Animagic.
Animagic.
And it was filmed at MOM Productions, or MOM, in Tokyo, with supervision by Tadahiro Mokunaga and Kizo Nagashima, whose names we actually saw in the beginning.
Yes.
Each of those figures cost $5,000 in 1964 to make.
Oh, wow.
Including Rudolph and Santa.
Oh, man, you can't imagine what it costs now. It's probably quadruple that.
And I'm sure when they were making this, never in their wildest dreams did they know or think that all these years later, people would still be watching this.
Right.
And enjoying it and appreciating the creativity and the process and what happened. Yes. I'm sure they thought it was going to be something short term.
Right.
And
like
they
a lot
were just
of
really
now.
doing their best. But it has withstood the test of time, just like Charlie Brown, just like The Grinch, and so many more.
And you had mentioned other Christmas podcasts that you don't really have a lot of holiday specials and movies that stick around in the pop culture anymore. Because so many people pump out so many specials and things at the same time, now people are trying to watch them all in one go. Or they just tell you they have no loyalty to it. They just want to get in as many as they can and then move on and be done with it. They just want to be up to date with everyone else instead of going back and appreciating it. The last movie to do that, it didn't hit pop culture, but it should have, was Klaus.
Yes.
And definitely. That's pretty much it. And we have specials. We've had ones that are in a similar vein where they're pretty good or they are memorable, but because there are so many out at once and people constantly want to be up to date and be on the trend and be on every single thing all at once or what piques their interest, that it doesn't really get a chance to shine as much as a lot of these classics. There's we could have so many more Christmas classics if not for that.
Definitely. This is why we really wanted to cover this. This year marks the 60th anniversary. 60.
60.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
And again, we've talked about the quality, the creativity, the voice casting, the music,
yes,
the storytelling. Everything is just fantastically done. And we watched it again before this podcast, not because we didn't remember it, but we just wanted to see it. And again, you're just amazed at just how wonderfully this was produced.
Right. And it's kind of funny because now we're getting a lot more stop motion special. Not for Christmas, but we're just seeing a lot more stop motion movies and shorts and stuff being used suddenly. So it looks like it's beginning to make its rounds again.
Well, probably because of the expense, it was not until 5 years later that Rankin Bass had another special, Frosty the Snowman, in 1969.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, that had to be the equivalent of millions of dollars then.
Right.
But again, I'm sure they didn't expect it to be this lasting long of a classic, but it is.
Right.
And we know that probably all of you out there have seen it.
Most likely,
That's listening. If you haven't, you really got to see it.
Yes.
Because it's fun, it's creative, and we know for a fact, after watching Ugly Dolls, this definitely was the inspiration with the Misfit toys.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, it has inspired Elf, and we're sure it's inspired a whole lot of other specials and movies that have come out. If you can think of any, let us know in the comments.
Yes.
And it's just a delight to watch. So let's quickly go through the voice cast.
Okay.
Burl Ives as Sam the Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Mann as Yukon Cornelius. Billy Mae Richards as Rudolph. Paul Soles as Hermie. Mm-hmm. Stan Francis as Santa Claus and King Moonracer.
Oh, them too.
Alfie Sculp as Fireball, Charlie in the Box, and various male elves. Mm-hmm. Janice Ornstein as Clarice. Mm-hmm. Paul Kligman as Donner and Coach Comet. Carl Bonas as Head, Elf, and various Misfit toys. Mm-hmm. Corrine Conley as Mrs. Donner and Dolly for Sue. Peg Dixon as Mrs. Claus and various female elves. And Bernard Cohen as Bumble, the abominable snow monster of the north. The spotted elephant, and Clarice's father. And
wow.
He was uncredited.
Oh, wow. Quite a few voices in here, actually, when you think about it.
Yes, so this, again, is a joy to watch. And if you haven't seen it, you really, really have to.
Yes.
The music itself is also really fun. And if you listen to some of the voice actors, you will hear some of them trying to imitate some of the stars who were famous during that time, including Jimmy Durante and Fred Astaire. And it's just really fun. Really, really fun.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you've seen or even just love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer TV special from 1964, let us know in the comments.
Right.
And if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. It's airing on NBC multiple times this year.
Yep.
So go ahead, give it a watch, come back, and tell us what you think.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Again, thanks for joining us this holiday season. We appreciate you, and we're having so much fun sharing some of our favorites and not so favorites with you as well.
Right.
As always,
you are special. Thanks so much for watching Master Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace. You'll go down in
history.